Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there, pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Haya Napash coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is going to be entitled, I Understand Why David Caroll Used to Curse You Ninjas Out. I understand why David Caroll used to curse you ninjas out. Now, David Caroll was one of the original Manosphere dudes. You know, he passed, a few years ago. And he would always tell Jake to stay away from Eve. Right? But it started with our apostles and elders. All of these trends start with the prophets. You start saying certain things, and all of a sudden you see, people in the mainstream media saying it. That's not a coincidence. The vibration of the prophets, right, which is the vibration of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, is very powerful. Now, this man would just come straight. He was one of the few at that time, or I think he might have been one of the only ones at that time that was telling you to detach from them completely. There was very few that had that sentiment to stay away from the so-called black woman completely. Right? So he was telling that, and he would get so frustrated because he would say that these Jakes would be responding like women. And we always tell you that the majority of these so-called black men are women in men's bodies. That's what they are. They have the thought process of women, but they're in men's bodies. These are facts. Okay? And he was doing that at a time when this was not popular. He was being demonized, and really he was mostly being demonized by other black men. Of course, the black woman was going to demonize for sure. But, also a big part of the demonization, and people say, oh, he's extreme, he's this, he's that, was other black men, because they have Stockholm syndrome when it comes to Eve. All right. And this is a particular series that he had. And it was going into a black woman's view on black men. Part 1. And this is the general view. This is just what she's saying in this video. You can go and watch it. Is really how the majority of them think about you. And the things that they think about you is slander. But the majority of the things that they say is slander and BS. Whenever I deal with a black man, I gotta pay for the gas. He don't have a car, so I have to drive. So you're telling me the majority of black men, when they come to deal with you, you got to pay for their gas because they don't have enough money to buy gas? You got to pay for the food. You got to pay for everything? No, it's because they're dealing with Pookies and Ray Rays. They're dealing with thugs. They're dealing with street guys. And really, a lot of the times it just be straight up lies that they're telling. Straight up lies and slander, just like Esau, Edom. So when we tell you that these are your enemies, we mean that. We mean it's Esau and then it's her. Okay? We're telling you the facts. This is the facts. And when we tell you to stay away from them, it's wisdom. The apostles ain't saying it for no reason, eh? The apostles haven't been saying this for years for no reason. Okay? This is Proverbs 27:12. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So the way you hide yourself from a lot of evil dealing with these women is you stay away from the so-called black woman. That's how you can evade a lot of problems. Okay? That's how you can evade a lot of problems. And at first I wasn't, I didn't just, as soon as the apostle said it, okay, I'm done dealing with the so-called black woman. No, man, it took me time to really see, what, this is BS, man. There's no sense of me dealing with these demons. All right. I learned that after a process of time, man. And you see that they just have they're just against you. Okay. They're just against you. That's the bottom line. All right. And that includes your mother. That includes your mother too. Okay. Now, this is a video from the elder Manatazakba, and you got these group of women that are talking and breaking down the scriptures, trying to curse out the Hebrew Israelite man and this, that, and the third, their cleavage showing, so on and so forth. But they know they're Israelites supposedly. And one thing you notice, and I always say this, is that they're always so-called black women, always Hebrew Israelite so-called black women from the Southern Kingdom that have all all these things to say. All this out of order activity, because I don't even hear from the Latin tribe women, and there are Latin tribe women in all of these different Israelite camps. There's Latin tribe women in all of them, but you don't see them getting on camera and doing this shameful activity. You only see these so-called black women. That should tell you something, man. And I don't know how much we have to tell you. You do not need the so-called black woman to reproduce the nation. Let me come over here, okay? Let me come over here. You do not need them to reproduce the nation. Some Jakes is acting like you need to have a dark-skinned woman to produce a Jake child. That is not true. Okay? That is not the truth. Let's go, Salakia. Let's go to Numbers 1 and verse 18. Okay? This is Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. This is how you declare someone's pedigree or lineage. You declare it based upon the house of their fathers, according to the number of the name, from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So you determine a person's nationality by their fathers. All 12 sons of Jacob, which created the 12 tribes of Israel, none of the mothers of the children that came after them were Israelites. None of them. So the tribe of Judah was not spawned by Israelite women. It was spawned by heathen women. The tribe of Benjamin was spawned by heathen women. The tribe of Issachar was spawned by heathen women. The tribe of so on and so forth was spawned by heathen women. That is not against the scriptures. Okay? And I have news for you. There's nobody more heathenistic than our own so-called women nowadays. They are the biggest feminists. Okay? Hence why, even when they become Israelites, look, this is what they do. They still push that feminist vibration because they're still feminists. They're still worse than any other women out there. They're the bottom of the barrel. And we're going to keep making videos on this too. We're going to keep making videos. And I don't really be usually doing videos on women like that. But the spirit is heavy on them right now. The spirit is heavy on me to get on Eve. Because it's about time that you Jakes leave Eve alone. Because whenever I hear that statistic that, 80% of black men are still with black women, I get kind of mad. Because I'm like, what the fuck? You still dealing with Keisha? You still dealing with Eve? You Jakes ain't learned yet? Nah, they ain't learned yet, man. They ain't learned yet. Cause Jake has what you call Stockholm syndrome, man. They have Stockholm syndrome. They're like that fish. You know when you have a fish in a certain fish in a small tank, it doesn't grow past that tank. That's these Jakes in America. That's a lot of these Jakes, not just in America, these Jakes in the islands, these Jamaican Jakes, these Caribbean Jakes, these coconut head Jakes, these Haitian Jakes, these Ricole eating Jakes. They're captive to Eve. They're like that fish in that small bowl that has the potential to grow big, but no, because their mind is so small that they'll stay in that little bowl, even when that bowl is killing them. This is Deuteronomy 21 and 11. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman. And after war, right? Because this is dealing with the enemies, right? Matter of fact, let's start at verse 10. It says, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, which is the other nations. That's how you know it's dealing with the other nations. And Yahweh thy power hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast the desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. And there was a process to go through, but you can take her to yourself. It told you even in Genesis that the sons of God saw the daughters of men and saw that they looked good to them. They were beautiful. When you look at these other women of these other nations, they're beautiful, man. They're absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of them that are beautiful, man. Okay? And it's not just Edomite women. There's many other nations than Edom. There's Elam, there's Ishmael. Oh, Ishmael's, they're known for having fine women. I live around a lot of Ishmaelites. I grew up around a lot of Ishmaelites too. Their women are fine, bro. They got fine women, man. They got the bodies too. They got them bodies on them. Okay? So it's not like them women ain't fine. Them women are nice too. And then not only that, but you have all the other tribes to choose from. You got the Latin tribes. You got the Gadites. You know? All right? You got to be careful with them Gadites too, because a lot of them Gadite women be damn drunks. All right? So you got to be careful with them too. But when they're sober, they're still better than Eve. All right? It says, then thou shalt bring, because it's a culture. You know, Jake is all messed up, man. Jake is all messed up. All bugged the hell out. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that, thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. See? So you could have a wife of the other nations. All right, which your concubine is nothing but a secondary wife. Okay, that's what that is. A secondary wife. That's what a concubine is. All right, and all of these women now that are, you know, including our women, are heathenistic. And guess what? You got a lot of them women from those other nations that are actually Israelites, but they grew up in a different culture. It's the culture of Eve that's all messed up. So even when you deal with another nation, but if they identify with Eve, let's say she's Kenyan, but she's acting like the N-dub, she identifies with the N-dub, you can't deal with her. She's trying to be like Eve, you know? Anyways, Salakia. I'm not trying to make this a ranting video. I'm really not. Now, I'm going to play a little bit of this. You know, this is my boy AC. He's going, and by the way, in the spirit, I was saying to myself, man, I hope, like, I don't know if maybe like a month ago, I was like, yo, I hope that AC starts to blow up. You know? I hope that AC starts to blow up, because this mindset of Jake fully detaching from Keisha needs to be more mainstream. I mean, fully, not talking about, oh, but there's some, and just fully detaching from them completely. That would be a beautiful thing. Like, I'm talking about the mass majority. I'm not saying every single one is going to, but the mass majority, oh, they're going to feel that. They will feel that. All right? They will feel that. All right? They will feel that. All right? The problem is you, Jake, still deal with them with their badass behaviors. And this is why they feel so comfortable doing what they do. But anyways, the spirit had it where, you know, now he's being, his account, his channel, you know, certain videos from his channel is now being passed around on certain bigger platforms. So it's beautiful, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing. So the spirit is constantly moving and graduating in the earth, man. You know? The truth that has been so long without fruit shall be declared. Anyways, let's play this video.
Than to just do the story on it, because I'm going to show you how they try to minimize, you know, abuse against black males when these Keishas are doing it. In this video, all you saw when you saw the uploads, you know, on these websites.
And by the way, this is of Shakari Richardson, the runner. She was beating on Christian Coleman, which was her boyfriend. I don't know what's wrong with these stupid Jakes still dealing with Eve. Why? Because they're in like I said, they have Stockholm syndrome. Especially Eve with all kind of tattoos on her. Like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? And he's He's supposedly a popular, famous athlete as well. So, I mean, he could have got any woman. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this guy. But, you know, you see that they were at the airport and Sha'Carri Richardson was beating on him, you know, at the airport. Live in the airport in public, man, with everyone around.
They calling it shoving. No, it wasn't just shoving. She hit him in the face. She hit him in the face. You know, TMZ. The caption is seen on surveillance shoving boyfriend. On Yahoo Sports, shoving. WBLS, shoving. All it says is just shoving. No. She hit him in the face, and shoving is bad enough because the way she shoved him. Let's just get to the video. Let's just get to the video. Let's just get to the video. This is her already pulling on him, excuse me. And we talking about Coleman, Christian Coleman. Right there. She slaps him in the face. Or punched him in the face. No, it looked like a punch, actually. See? Let's go. Let's. Right there. Let's show it again. Right there. Hold on. Right there. You see his face move? She punched him in the... It looked like a punch, actually. So let's go. Look how... Look. Look how hard she slammed him in the wall. Okay. Look. Shoved him again. Look. He's trying to avoid her. Look.
Anyways, so you see what's going on there. And hey man, in general, and you know what? When you look at these comments, it's always gonna be like he said, you know, that they always try to downplay the abuse of Jake, you know, the Jake man, when it comes to Eve, which there's always going to be justification from other Eves for this behavior. And that's what shows you it's a cultural collective thing. It's not just one Eve. Oh yeah, well, you should have picked better. Eve in general is in this type of mindset. There's some of them might say, oh, this and that. No. Okay. Now when you go to their lives, how do they treat their husbands? Do they really reverence their husbands? Are they sweet and kind to their husbands? You're going to look 9 times out of 10 or more than that is the answer is no. Even these content creator women that are talking and advocating for men, a lot of them are just grifters. They're just grifting you. They're grifting you because y'all are simple, man. Y'all are simple. You believe it because she says like, oh, the sisters are a good sister. And then y'all are gullible, man. You don't get it. They're with the serpent. They're not with you. They are with the serpent. They are not with you. When you deal with how these other nations deal with Jake, they don't deal with Jake like that. They deal with Jake they deal with Jake great compared to Eve. Great, wonderful. Now let's not even deal with Moab or Ammon or what do you call it, Thailand woman, the Vietnamese or whatever. Come on, man. Uncomparable, man. Even the Edomite woman, uncomparable. And it's not just about, she's not cursing me out. It's the energy that they give you. They don't give you that energy of respect and honor. They don't give you that energy. They'll give that energy to Esau. They'll fake it, because they really don't have feminine qualities like that. They have fake femininity. But they'll give that to Esau. They'll lean more to that with Esau. And he could be a complete bum. He could have nothing. They could be paying for everything, and they'll still give him that. You could be paying for everything. You could be a track star like this guy, and you're still going to get that disrespect from them. And it has to do a lot with them having self-hatred. Listen, leave them alone. Okay? Leave them alone. Let them suffer alone. Okay? I'll never forget this interview that Tariq Nasheed had years ago. And he was arguing with this Eve, and she was like some Hotep Eve or whatever. And she was like, yeah, black man need to, when they approach, they harass me, and this, y'all need to stop harassing people, and then blah, 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 blah. Basically demonizing Jake, as they always do. They're see, you have an accuser of the brethren. This is the next accuser. The next accuser is Eve. Okay, there's the accuser, which is Esau, but this is the other accuser. Okay, now ultimately, you know what Tariq said. All right, you know what? So this is what I'll tell brothers in order to help the solution. You know, brothers, whenever you see a black woman that looks like she's a Hotep, you know, or could possibly be a Hotep, you know, Africanist woman or whatever the case may be, just don't talk to her. Just avoid her altogether. And this is what he was saying on his show while he was talking to this woman. And she said she lost it. She said, no, don't tell him that. Don't tell them that. He's like, why? This is what you wanted. You don't want us, Jake, the black man, to talk to you. So I'm gonna tell them to just avoid whenever they think you may be a Hotep woman. Just avoid you altogether. Don't say nothing. You don't say hi. Don't say nothing. Don't do that because don't do that. Then he's like, why? What's the problem? And she was fighting that so he doesn't say that. Although she was demonizing Jake. Why? Why was she doing that? Why? Because that's putting that's demonizing black women, because they still can't live without Jake's attention. They still can't live without Jake's attention, basically, and energy. So what you do is you take it away. You starve them of that energy. You starve them completely and give your energy to women of other nations. Yes, I said it. Oh, the other tribes, they have other tribes too. Right? But if you're not dealing with other tribes, it's better to get you the women of the other nations. From my analysis, that's what makes sense, man. And it's not just my analysis, because the apostles and elders have been telling us that way longer than I've been saying it, man. They've been saying that for decades. And so but now I see exactly why they're saying what they're saying. All right? This is Amos 7:17. It says, therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city. And these Eves are complete harlots. That's why they're giving people houses in Virginia at a high rate. And you know, that's an acronym. Okay? HI to the Vizzy. All right? Houses in Virginia. They're giving all kind of people that, man. The highest rates, because they're the biggest, you know what. Thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line. And thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. You know, by the grace of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, I never got one of those things, STIs, anything like that. You know, never had any issue like that arise. So, you know, people speak about their pee burning or anything like that, and I've dealt with a lot of women. But you know what? When I think back, I haven't dealt with a lot of Eves. Okay, I haven't dealt with a lot of Eves. You know, and when I have dealt with Eve, it hasn't been good. It has not been good. So I came to the conclusion. I said, nah, this is not it. All right. But yeah. But that could be a reason, you know. Anyways, and that's all by the grace of Yahweh Shemi Awashai anyway, though. brothers do end up slipping doing something like that. May Yahweh Shemi Awashai be with you. This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward her husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Right. So, you know, in the ancient world, the so-called black woman was feminine. She was feminine. She was tender. But now they're the exact opposite of that. And when you go to Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, it goes into all the curses. You know, even the smell, the looks, the out of shapeness, all that stuff, that's all a curse. So your woman is an actual curse. I'm speaking to you, Southern Kingdom. Your woman is an actual curse unto you. All right? So just like I'm not going to be in the hood I'm not gonna be in the hood, right? Because I know the hood is a cursed land, right? That Jake is in. I'm gonna try to be at least somewhere in the middle, you know, a decent little neighborhood. I'm not gonna intentionally be in the hood, right? Jake is I'm going to not intentionally deal with no. I'm not gonna deal with Eve. I don't deal with Eve. I don't even look at Eve, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't even look at Eve, bro. I don't even look at Eve. I glance at Eve, but I'm not looking at Eve in that way. Okay? That's how far gone and removed I am from Eve. I'm serious, bro. I'm dead serious. I'm not even attracted to Eve. Like, and there's fine Eves, there's beautiful Eves out there. I'm not attracted to Eve. Eve has the attitude of Eve has completely turned me off. Completely, 100%. 100%. The vibration has completely turned me off from them. And the thing is, when I was younger, you know, in high school, I only really liked Eve like that. But they have completely turned me off to them. Their behavior and attitude and the spirit they come in. Straight up. Now, I want to look at this video. I know brothers may not, I don't know if brothers will see what I see, but for me, this video caught my attention, right? I think it was yesterday I was watching. I was like, yo, listen to how sweet and soft this woman sounds, bro. And she sounds genuinely sweet and soft, like a soft, like a soft spirit. I'm like, yo, and you just listen to how she talks, because he's basically telling her. This is just something I came across in like scrolling down shorts, and he's basically telling her, oh, you know, we need to talk, like if it's like something serious, right? But I want you to see how she reacts to it. Like it's just like she just gives a sweet energy. Just listen to this, brothers. You know, maybe I'm tripping, but this is what I see.
Do you mind setting your phone down just for a moment? We need to talk. I want to talk to you about something.
About what?
Something that's
Don't do the sigh.
Something that's been on my mind. I just don't want you to get stressed out. I don't want you to hate me for saying this.
Okay.
Will you please promise that you won't hate me for saying this?
Okay, I promise.
Just no matter what, okay? I just really need to get this off my chest.
Okay. Is it that I didn't do the dishes today?
No, it's not that you didn't. No, it's not that you didn't do the
Do you see how sweet this woman sounds? And she sounds genuine, like she don't know what the hell is going on. He's hiding the camera, and she's like, is it because I didn't do the dishes today? I'm sorry. You see how sweet this is, bro? You Jakes do not, a lot of you, the Jakes that are in the fish tank that I told you about, you Jakes have never, you Jakes don't experience things like this. Okay? You don't experience things like this. And she's has a very sweet energy to her. A very soft energy, this is tenderness. Okay? And I just came across this and it just kind of resonated with my spirit. I'm like, yo, this woman is really sweet. Like a really soft type of sweet woman. You Jakes don't know nothing about that. Yo, you Jakes. Imagine you coming home to what you think this woman is likely to be screaming, pushing you at the airport. Nigga, you should have did this and that. And losing her temper. Does she seem like that type to really just like lose it? Like she seems like why did you do that? She might come in a very soft way to you. Hey, when I dealt with certain Edomite chicks, they even their, how do you say this? Even their rebellion, I guess you could say rebellion, even their objections, let's say, was submissive. Even their objections are submissive. Like the way, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't want to, that's not something I want to do. Like the way the certain ones that I would deal with, and not every Edomite's like that. You got Edomites that are complete demon women too, that are not, you know, masculine and all that too. Because the Edomite woman is like right under the Jake woman. Like right above the Jake woman. The Jake woman is just on the bottom of the barrel. But even their objections was submissive, make you say, all right, baby, it's all good. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so soft and tender. Like how this woman is, man. All right? Look at this, man. This is something that I just came across. It says, first time I didn't cry after dropping my fiance off at the airport. It's just like every time she drops him off, she usually cries and whatever. Anyway, listen, I'm just saying, man. There's other options out there for Jake. Okay, I don't even gotta play that video. There's other options out there for Jake, and it's not just Edomite women. There's the Moabite women. Hey, Moabite women make great wives. I always say that. Okay, they're not lazy. You know, they're about serving. You know, they have more of an understanding of what a woman is, and that's because they had that example too. Hey, I understand why David Caroll used to curse you Jakes out, man. I understand. He used to get mad, man. He used to call you monkeys. He used to call... Yeah, he was fed up with y'all, man. Because y'all would not leave this captive mind of being under the Eve, which is your top enemy under Esau, Edom. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. I just had to get this off my chest. And I didn't want to make it long, but guess what? The Spirit made it long. With that, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. I'll say shalom.